Okay, so far so good. I got them on. They're not, they look pretty damn good. I mean, check that out. Does that not look badass or what? There's just a certain point where you have so many lights on your vehicle that it starts to look really cool. You know what I mean? It's like you're kind of like a kid in a candy store. You know what I mean? You just can't get enough. Plus, those tabs down there were just calling for lights, specifically fog lights. Now this one looks really slanted. I don't know why it looks slanted as opposed to this one, but kind of my wires from the KCs are sort of getting in there. I'll see if I can probably zip those down a little bit more. But I got them on there. They actually went on really well. I got lucky with the bolts I found. Put a washer in there just to secure them, and they are on there tight. I gave them a good wriggle, tug, and they did not, didn't come off. I got the lights into the hinges, put the bolts through. I put the nut that I need to tighten on the inner side because I think that'll be easier because I can still get it, good from right around underneath here. But damn right, like starting to look pretty badass if I do say so. And yeah, they're on there now. I'm not sure how the lights would block there. I kind of want the lights, tilted more down at the road, specifically because they're fog lights. They're not going to be long range, but it'd be great to have light right down there. Plus, I think if you had lights down here, because it kind of would get obstructed a little bit by the bar here, but it still looks pretty good. I really like it, and I'm glad that they're on there. They're on there snug. They're on there tight. They're not going to fall off. It's always a worry of mine when I do things like this, and I'm like, it's going to fall off. The screws are going to come loose. My lights are going to come off. But no, they're on there really good. It's on there really nice. They're on there snug, but I can get them off if I need to, because like I said, I might need to take them off again. But yeah, as I'm going through here too, I'm also noticing that I have no idea how old this bumper actually is, but some of the parts in the powder coating are kind of getting a little rust colored, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. I might look into I was thinking about bed lining this, but I really do kind of like the powder coating, so maybe, who knows, maybe I'll look into powder coating. Never done anything like that, but I mean, I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. The texture is like just right. It's sort of along the same lines of bed liner, but almost a little less intense, if that's the way you'd phrase that. But yeah, this is looking good right now, so I'm already kind of, grinning. Now the next part is to get into the engine and see, like I got the relay here. This is my relay, but it's metal, you know what I mean? This is the relay for my KCs, and that was metal. Now I got plenty of holes I could use around here if I could, fit it in somewhere. That's not too much of a concern for me there. But like the lights need grounding too, or do these, you know what I mean? Do these black pieces go to my battery terminal? That's what I'm starting to wonder now that I'm at this point. So even if I get these in here and loop these up, because the longer one's going to go over there, it's going to come around because it's got to get to the battery. I'm going to need to do that to get that in there. Really going to want to keep this neat and organized. I see a lot of stuff like this get too messy, and I like to keep things really organized and neat so I know what's what. And then it's getting into the firewall is what's really going to get tricky, because I got lucky. You can see the brighter white line there. That's my KCs all the way through into there. And I got lucky with this, but I don't think this is going to reach that far. That's what I'm wondering. And I can't put that whole switch through this without really cutting one of those open. So, I mean, I assume any of these, those right there, are ways in through the firewall. So that's kind of my next thing. I haven't, you know what I mean? Like I had this all ready to go. I'm happy with this, but now I got to actually figure some stuff out that I'm not so sure on. So I'm going to open up my dash. I'm going to get the kit over here and actually see how far I can go and start just lining it out, like outlining it where I'm going to put it before I actually put it down so I can actually see it. And we'll take a look at it after that. Okay, so I went ahead and I started taking apart my dash. I really should, sit down one of these days and take apart the whole thing. I got to be just wary of like the airbags. But other than that, I really want to take apart the whole thing so I can finally say I fully cleaned this thing out, because you can still see a little bit of friggin' dog hair out there after, bed lining this whole damn tub, pulling all the carpets out, washing the seats multiple times, vacuuming everything. The only place I didn't get is the deep, dark places of the dash. And I can kind of see, the dash is actually pretty, how would I put it, like, piece by piece that it comes off. It's kind of obvious. You take off one piece, oh, okay, there's how this comes off, and oh, okay, that makes it so I can get to this, and that makes a lot of sense. And I think everything should just be made that way, but maybe I think too much common sense. So the good news is, I can see, if you can see back there, it's a little dark. That little rubber piece there through the firewall is the very same piece I was thinking about over here. So that would be awesome, because instead of having to, like the way the KCs worked, which I'm hoping I won't have to rearrange them because they stretch pretty far, but I may have to take my KCs out of there and put them through there along with the new harness, because I might need to cut a pretty fairly big hole right there to slide the piece through, and then I can take the KC switch off and slide the wires through, and then go right through there, which will lead in through here, and I can hopefully bring up through here, and then have the wires just hang out, and then put everything back together, and then move in the switchboard. That would be awesome. That's how things are playing out in my mind at the moment. We'll see how that goes, because right now this is grounded over here, but I think the ground I have it tied off because it's actually a little bit longer. So yeah, I think that'll still work. But then I assume the other one needs a ground too. And I'm just like looking around. I don't know. Can I use the same ground for multiple lights? You know what I mean? That's something I don't know. So I might need to go look that up before I do something awful. Because I don't, I'm again no pro at this, so I should really stretch this out so I can get a better look at it. And you know what I mean? Like, these must go to the positive, and then one of these has to hook up to a ground. I mean, it's funny how this is not... How this is plastic. I thought the relay needed to be grounded, but I could be wrong. Or maybe I'm right. So this is just me speculating. Before I do anything crazy, I will go look it up. But first I'll stretch this out and outline it in the engine there to see if it'll actually reach. Alright, so I found some information that should be very similar to my situation. And basically what I think I'm right here is the blacks should be ground, so all blacks should be grounded. And all reds should be attached to my red part on my battery. Yeah. So so I think it's weird because I've got a ground here, and I think that's for the relay. Okay, so the ground, we got a power for the relay and a ground for the relay, right? And then the others must be power for the lights and ground for the lights. Am I wrong? I mean, let's see. This goes to the fuse. That goes to the ground for the relay. And what? Power for the fuse. And the fuse is just to keep it from blowing up, right? I think I vaguely understand this. This is someone who's just, read on forums, read on random things, that hardly had anything really learned via this. So, yeah, I think the bottom line is I should be okay as long as I ground, well ground my blacks and attach the two reds. Because all I have here is I have a black here, a red here, and a black here, and a red here. And that's it. So that seems a lot more simplistic than I for some reason thought it was. So that should work. I mean, the way I'm thinking of it is both reds to my battery and both blacks grounded. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a place to do those before I actually do it, find a solid place. And then I'll move my switch in through the new hole I'm going to be making. And probably going to need to rearrange my KCs. Because right now my KC is, yeah, that kind of sums it up right there. That's kind of how that switch has been the last couple months. It's worked, don't get me wrong, but I'd like something a little more not hanging out of my vehicle. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I think that'll work out. I think I'm on the right path here. I got more of a good feeling than I do a bad feeling about this. So okay, so I just got confirmed that there should be no issue reusing a ground, as in I already have a ground here, and I can use two of grounded wires on the same ground. That shouldn't be a problem at all. So I got my my reds hooked up to my battery here, which I'm going to snug up a little bit more, and I'm going to assume that this is plastic, so this can't possibly run an electrical current. Last time I checked, plastic didn't do that. So this I'm going to hook up to my current ground for my KCs over here. And this I've got wired over. I'm going to make sure that's set a little bit neater. I popped out the plastic piece right there, or the rubber piece, I suppose it is. I'm probably going to want to put that back in, so I might want to cut holes for that, just a little bit bigger of a hole. I'm going to pull out my KCs, run them through there because that's more direct. And then through here, see I've got my switch up here. I'm going to move my KCs from the awkward position down there through that one in the back here. Use the same ground that I got. I got a black here from my the harness that I'm hooking up right now. This is a black here. And I'm going to make use of the ground over here that my KCs are already on. And everything's going to work out. I mean, it's really looking like it's going to come together here well for me. So let me do that. Let me cut out a better spot on this, like probably a good little size hole there. And yeah, we'll check it out.